Hey guys, it is past midnight on the West Coast, and I have some breaking news to share. Originally, I was not going to do a video today or tonight because of the lack of happenings in Ukraine, but because of how huge this news in particular is, I felt it was necessary for me to cover it. Lindsey Graham, senator from South Carolina, is dead at the age of 71. He recently had just turned 71 a few days ago, and he was on the U.S. Senate for 23 years. He was first elected in 2002. He was significantly younger back then. I think he was like in his late 40s to early 50s when he represented South Carolina at that time. And the weird thing is that he succeeded probably the most infamous senator in the history of the United States. And that, of course, is Strom Thurmond, a diehard racist and a guy who literally kept his job until he died from office. He only retired 5 months before he passed away at 100 years old. And as for Graham, well, just like his predecessor, he dies on the job too, though he didn't serve as long as Thurmond did. Lindsey Graham was someone that, I'll be very honest with you, I did not like and I do not like now. He was just someone that I just could not stand. He was genuinely annoying to me. He was a war profiteer. He called for aiding Ukraine. Like, he wanted us to be more direct in aiding the armed forces of Ukraine in their war against Russia. He also wanted Israel to also be given additional support too in their war against Hamas and the Palestinian population. And it also didn't help that he's a big flip-flopper, a cuckold. I've had almost next to no respect for this guy ever since I was a kid. Whenever Donald Trump put him under pressure, he would always buckle down to him and would basically pretend to be some MAGA populist. I mean, he was an opportunist from start to finish when he first came to office. A literal opportunist, and I don't like people like him. And I also remembered when he ran for president in 2016, he talked about how Donald Trump was going to destroy the GOP and how it was going to be a disaster for the country if he had won. And then after he drops out, all of a sudden, he becomes one of Trump's core supporters. Literal flip-flopper. Now, I have my own views about Donald Trump, but we're talking about Lindsey Graham here. This man just passed away. And as I said earlier when I started making this video, I never liked him. I couldn't stand him. And I know for a fact that when people wake up in the morning to the news that he has passed away, do not be surprised if the vast majority of people, especially on Twitter X, celebrate this man's death. On Telegram, where I'm mostly active of all the social media platforms, Graham's death is being celebrated. I'm not joking. Rather, if it be in my chat, the AMK chat, the Syriac Maps chat, some Russian language chats. I mean, I can go fucking on. This man was hated across the world. He was hated, too, by his own constituents. He was hated by people who even voted for him, only because he was not a liberal Democrat. There was almost nothing likable about this guy. And the final nail in the coffin, for me, when it comes to Lindsey Graham, was the fact that he was never transparent about his sexual orientation. There is so much evidence that this man was in the closet. I am absolutely convinced that this man was a homosexual. Now, if you ask me about my stance on homosexuality, I'll be honest, I don't give a single fuck if you're gay, straight, trans, none of that. I want you to be honest with me and all of those around you. If you're gay, come out. And it seems to me that Lindsey Graham never found his balls to do that in life. And as such, I firmly believe that during his last moments alive, he was more miserable than he has ever been in his fucking life. I hope this man rots in hell for all the death and suffering that he has inflicted or enabled. And yeah, I have no sympathy or pity whatsoever for Lindsey Graham. I do wish the family well, and I do hope they find some healing during this process. But as a citizen of this country, I personally could give less of a fuck that this man is dead. Literally. Rest in piss.